Okay. All right, here we go. Hopefully everything is working. Thank you guys for joining me on this beautiful, beautiful day of Easter. Sacred Soulful Sundays as usual, and I'm really honored that all of you are showing up to spend this moment diving into yourselves and into connecting with your spiritual awakening as what this is about. I also have enjoyed thoroughly all the shares that I see on our beautiful group. We've really become an amazing community, and that brings me so much joy and purpose because, believe it or not, it's amazing that it is, I can't believe that it is already 4 years of this journey for me, which blows my mind. Truly blows my mind. So with that said, I wanted to speak about what came in and what's coming in. I mean, we've all become very aware of this ascension path that we are on, this awakening path that we are on. I believe that, you know, if you didn't know about this, you wouldn't be on this chat with me. And each of us, of course, are going through our own thing every moment as we travel this journey together. It's like a pilgrimage, I believe. And we are, I mean, if you're in this world and if you're on this journey, you are completely aware that there's something different happening right now at this time. That 2024 feels like this, almost like a culmination, almost like a completion, and yet a beginning. That's how I feel it. And I believe that astrologically, what is going on, thank you, Tatiana, for joining us today, because I could use some astrological help. I am not the expert, but I can tell you that everything you hear, feel, see is speaking to this energetic portal or gateway that we are on. That's the way I feel. We have arrived at a gateway, at a point of transcendence. It is incredibly symbolic that this week, that all of these things between the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse of the 8th has this significant day in our storyline, in our timeline, in our history, especially that most of us on this chat understand the story of Jesus. And I call it the story because, as with stories, as humanity, we learn, grow, and experience through stories. We know the story of Jesus, and we know the story of our lives, right? And we are on a journey as well. Maybe we'll call it our hero's journey. And I believe that all of us that have come on this planet at this moment in time are on a hero's journey. We decided to join forces to elevate and ascend the earth at this moment in time because we knew on a soul level that this was a significant time in our humanity. This is the feeling, the energy that we are all experiencing. And some of us are even manifesting physical ailments because of that energetic gateway. It's kind of like, you know, Deborah was mentioning how you went to the space center this week. Well, you know, when a rocket ship comes in to the earth plane, that it's like a feeling of crashing and burning and turbulence, and that's what I've been talking about. We are in this state of making our way into a new era. We are physically experiencing this paradigm shift that is happening both in our physical forms and in our spiritual forms, on all bodies, okay, on every level. So it is only natural that we would be going through this on every level, right? So the words that came in for me this week was actually very hopeful and very beautiful, because if what I'm here to give you today is inspiration and hope, because the truth is that this is a necessary pathway to the other side. What's interesting about it is that the storyline that we are creating is just that. We are creating this storyline as we go. We are in the process. We are in the story. And I've mentioned this before, that I've felt like I am observing my own movie. I'm the director and the actor. Well, this is exactly what we're doing here. We are in it and of it and creating it. If it is true that we are creators of our own reality, which I do, and I hope that all of you understand and believe that this is the truth, we are actually creating it as we go. Okay? And the only way that we can do that is by starting first from ourselves. We must start the process within ourselves first. And that's what we've been doing for the past 4 years, guys. I don't know about you, but that's what we've been doing together. We have been traveling this path of healing, changing, evolving, growing, and expanding together on this journey. And Sacred Soulful Sundays was designed, no pun intended, for that purpose. It is for that reason I know today that Deborah pushed me over the edge and said, we're doing this. And somehow 4 years later, here where I am. So going back to the concept of a storyline, the story of Jesus and the story of resurrection, the story, the hero's journey of that lifetime that has left a significant, incredibly indelible imprint on our lives. We all know, whether you are Jewish, Muslim, agnostic, whatever, you know the story of Jesus. You know it. And it's a story of resurrection and hope and love. And it's a symbolic anchor to our hearts to understand that love is the only way, that we must cross through the path of our hearts and be in a state of unity and love in order to transcend and resurrect and be one with God, be one with Source, be one with our Creator. But at the same time, that we have never, ever, ever, that has never left us. We have never been separate from it. We leave the nest and come back to the nest. This is what we're doing. We left that loving space when we went into the path of amnesia. We forget, right? We forget what we really are in order to remember what we are. Sounds crazy, I know. But that is the journey. Because you cannot understand the light without the darkness. So you must travel through the darkness to get to the light. It's just the way it is. That is the nature of our being, the nature of our humanity. The interesting aspect about that is that cyclically, we are in a very critical state in which we can choose through our own free will to be in a state of lightness, just in a state of love, in a state of unity, or not. That is the significance of this moment in time. I don't know why. I'm from what I've read and I've studied and I've learned, this is the culmination of a cycle of 26,000 years, okay, of our time-space reality, which there is no such thing outside of this third density. But basically, in this third density, this is a culmination. This is a moment of cyclical change, similarly to what we witness in nature every year of our lives, right? Do we know the moment? I mean, supposedly there's a spring equinox, okay, whatever, that's like a marked time, or winter solstice, whatever that is. But what I'm saying is, do we really, really, really know the moment in which we change from one season to another? Do we? We experience it, we go through it, we travel through it, but is there like a moment, like we say, oh, we just left spring and now we're going into summer. This is it right now, this moment, at this very second, this is when this has occurred, right? No, we kind of just like, we go through it. We go through it, and one day we wake up and it's like, oh, it's kind of chilly, isn't it? Oh my God. And then we put on a sweater, right? And oh man, it's hot as hell. What the hell? That's it. It's over. You know, that cool weather that, well, in Miami, you know, we don't really experience much, but I can tell you that we do have some of it. All right. And that's what I mean by this. We are in this transitional state of going through a cycle, and the only thing that makes us understand it is awareness and experience, understanding that this is not our first rodeo. Like, we've done this before, or have we? Now, from every channel that I listen to, everything that I grasp and read and learn and absorb, this happens to be a very distinct time, different than ever before, like it's never happened before. This is the weird part. The weird part is, supposedly this has never happened before. We have never reached this state of vibration in our humanity with the level of vibration on a planetary level. Okay? That's what I'm hearing. That's the significance of this moment in time. And we're here for the ride. Like, we signed up for this roller coaster. We did it. We got in line, you know, we met the right criteria, and we joined the roller coaster, and we strapped ourselves in for this. Now, don't ask me why we would do something like that, but you know what? I think it's because we like the adventure, right? Life would be boring if we didn't strap on to get on this roller coaster, right? Even the bad stuff, whatever we consider to be bad or negative or whatever, feels like the contrast we need in order to know the difference. Now, the storyline is our own. This is what the whole theme of today's talk is about: a story. And what is beautiful about a story? Beautiful about a story is that it takes us on a journey, right, that we will remember. But the reason we remember it is through our emotions. What makes us unique is that we feel our way through stories. We feel our way. Without feeling, there is no story. I guarantee you that any memory that you have in your lifetime through your journey, if I ask you to remember something, you will probably remember how you felt at that moment, not the actual nuances of every little factual data from that particular moment in time, right? Think about it. It is how we feel that carries us through the storyline of our lives. So I want you to take a moment right now and feel your way through this. I want you to be in a space of love and gratitude for it, because there will never be another moment like today. This story that I'm telling you today is a story of hope. It's a story of rebirth. It's a story of resurrection, just like the story that we honor today with Jesus. Has there ever been a story more told than this one? It may be told in a million different ways with a million different perspectives, but one thing that we know is that we know that the underlying feeling of this story is love. Love. In fact, Jesus' presence, his humanity, his existence can be described in one word. And that one word is actually an emotion that we must learn to value and integrate into ourselves, and that is love. Love is truly all there is. That's it. It's so simple. We're the ones that complicate it all. So today's story is about a belief in love, because it's what we believe that creates the manifestation. And believe me, I'm getting to a point, okay? The reason I'm telling you this is because the word that came in for me along with the story and belief is imagination. In fact, I kind of like woke up to the tune of John Lennon's song. I looked it up because I was like, what? Imagine. So I'm going to take a minute to read you a few of those words, because talk about a vision. Talk about a visionary that his life ended rather quickly. But what a body of work existed. I mean, if you think about it, I don't know how old he was, but how old was Jesus? And yet, how much impact was made through that existence. So the song goes like this. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us, only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. And no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will be as one. Pretty powerful. And it's called Imagine, right? Imagine if the world is a creation, an illusion of our own creative possibilities. Then we can imagine a new world. Today, I ask you to take a moment to imagine what the world would be like if we were all one. If all of these words that John Lennon so beautifully put into a song were true, I believe that that's what Jesus wanted. That we would all only be love. I really do. I think the basics of what he said to us was love. Love each other. Love yourself. Love God. If we can transcend, and if it's true that we are in a moment of transcendence, that through our free will, through our hearts, we are all awakening at this moment in time with the help of all of the energies that are surrounding us, with all of the beautiful masters that preceded this moment in time, that they still exist, although not in physical form, and they're here to guide us along this way and along this path. I think we can imagine a world that is full of love. And I think that that's what we're being asked to do, collectively. We are being asked at this moment in time to collectively believe in a new story, to create a new story, to believe that it's possible that we could transcend the negativity of war, of hate, of discord, of division, of separation. I'm not going to say it's easy. This year, I still believe, is going to be turbulent. It may bring about things that are almost impossible to believe. Even this country that we love dearly, that we admire for its mark of freedom, is going through a rough time. We know that this year is going to bring about a lot of hatred, anger, division. I think we all know this. We feel it in our hearts. We're kind of bracing ourselves for this truth. But, and this is where the hope comes in, what if we believe so strongly in the story of hope and love and unity that each of us plants a seed of love today and believe in it so strongly that it's going to sprout and it's going to bloom? I ask you all to do that today. That is my prayer today. My prayer today is that we all believe in a new story. That we all trust that this is for our good. And that we must go through this fire to get to the other side. The fire of Aries. This is what I believe. And I ask you all, my beautiful tribe today that has gotten on an Easter Sunday, where I know you could have just taken the day off. I couldn't. This is too important. This is too important a time for me to just ignore. I couldn't ignore it. Just like I couldn't ignore last Sunday. I was like, okay, gotta tell my people. Gotta tell my people to get ready, because we must get ready to be the anchor of hope and love on this planet. We've got to. There's no choice. Because if there's a fire, we've got to be here with a fire extinguisher. Okay? Simple as that. It's what Jesus would have done. It's what I'm going to do. And we can do it together. One human being at a time. We have never been at this moment of ascension before. We've never been there. We've never been so possibly awake. And you guys know what that feels like, right? You know what it feels like to just wake up. It's just like the seasons, like the same change of seasons. Like when did spring turn into summer? I have no freaking clue. But I can tell you that I am awake. And I don't know when it happened and how it happened exactly, but I can tell you that there's no turning back. And each of you, there's no turning back either. There's none. It's over. That's it. From here forward, and that's it. So be the light. Be the light, because you made the choice. You made the choice to come. You made the choice to be the light. You made the choice to be the love. Okay? And all I need you to do now is to believe in a new story. Let's create that new story together. Let's anchor in our heart and be there, right here, right now. Be here. Be in that love and feel the love and the power of the Christ consciousness within you. And carry it forward. That's all I ask. So, I hope that all of you are able to go through the journey as healthily as possible, because I know there will be challenges. All of you are probably experiencing them on every level, like I said before. It is not for the faint of heart. It is not. But I know that it is doable. And whenever I see all of you giving each other support on the chat, talking about how you feel, being vulnerable and speaking your truths like Liz did this week, I'm amazed at how connected and supportive we all are and how purposeful this is. I really didn't want to make this a long thing today, but I did want to touch each of you with this incredible message of imagination that came in. We are in control of that. We can transcend, firstly with ourselves. Okay, so if something has come up for you, both in physical and emotional, it's there for a reason. It's there to remind you that you are still required to release something. This is why I asked you all to take a moment to create a ritual around that release. Because if there's still any type of resistance within you, it's going to come up to be dealt with. Simple. It's going to come up. It'll show up in a million different ways. So we need to be very vigilant about our practices. We need to be disciplined about them. We need to be using them, all the tools in our toolbox every day to be able to get through it. Okay? I don't know how any of you have been, but I know that you, and I've confessed to you that January and February were rough for me. So many ups and downs. It was really a roller coaster, and I needed to strap myself in big time for this one. I don't know how all of you have been, but from what I see and hear, there's been a lot of this going on. Okay? So be supportive of yourself. Provide yourself with self-care and self-love. Lots of it. Lots and lots and lots of it. If your body says take a rest, take a rest. If you're feeling fatigued, you can sit down and do some breathing and do some meditation. Whatever works for you, go out and take a walk, sit on the ground outside, burn some sage, Palo Santo, do whatever it takes to get yourself back into a good place. And I can tell you that grounding and being outside or sitting on the ground and being in nature, just sitting for 5 minutes and looking at a beautiful tree or the blue sky or the ocean or wherever you live, this is going to be incredibly helpful for you. You'll feel much better. because you'll start harmonizing with the energies of nature and feel connected to it. Okay? This is my recommendation. It's what I've been doing. I mean, I've been every day being very conscious of how I can feel connected and better about things. Because this is the first quarter of the year, guys. That's the crazy part, is that it's not just, it's only been 3 months. It's only been 3 months. So we got some more to go. And I'm curious, honestly. I want you guys to kind of, curious is a good word to have in your arsenal. You know, it's just like, let's see what happens. I don't know. Every week is a different story. I don't know. Let's see what happens. So it's going to be a very interesting journey. Okay. I know that supposedly April is a whopper of a month. That's what they're saying out there. If you think this has been, we're only in March. I don't know. Get ready. April is supposed to be a whopper of a month. Okay. But you know what I know is this. I'm always kind of like, you know, I've always been a little bit of ahead of my time, right? So I always get through things early so that then I can guide others with what they're going through. I think that that's what it is, you know, because I had the rough bronchitis and all that stuff. And now I'm feeling pretty good. I'm like, okay, I think I got this. I'm all right. And I think that that's what's happening to all of us too, is like the more we get through the way we feel, the ups and downs of the way we feel, the more prepared we're going to be to hold people's hands and put the oxygen mask on them. I really do believe that. Okay? So be prepared to whip out those oxygen masks, okay? Because you're going to need to be supportive to each other, to anybody that you see, anyone that's not feeling and getting well, okay? So be prepared for that. And let's see what happens on these next few weeks of April. Tatiana, any insights as to what you might have for us on an astrological? I know there's a ton of shit going on. Sorry, Evelyn. I always have to apologize for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've been hitting the nail right on the head. I mean, this Aries
can't hear you. I don't know. Are you unmuted? Huh?
I'm unmuted. Can't hear me?
Huh.
Okay. Deb hears me. B, can you hear me?
Can you guys hear her?
I hear her.
Oh. How come I can't hear her?
I hear her too.
I hear her too.
Okay. Well, as long as you guys hear her, because I can't. I don't know why.
Come on, Tati. Let us know what's going on with those Aries girls.
Yes. So
I hear.
You have male and females on here that are Aries waiting for a message.
Oh, really? Oh, good. Go for it, Tati.
yeah, you've been hitting the nail right on the head. Aries is the first sign, spring equinox. It kicks off the astrological new year, and it has everything to do with the self. So we cannot help others unless we help ourselves first, right? In the negative spectrum of the energy, we do have that anger that comes up because our needs have not been met. I don't know if any of you have followed me on my astrological chat, but in December, I broke my hand because I've been going through my own healing journey, going into my shit, and all that anger came up. And basically, like, yeah, I lost my shit, punched the wall, broke my hand. And yeah, this is where we can have accidents happen. There's like an impulsive energy, again, that anger. But yeah, on the positive spectrum is just really just dealing with yourself, with your needs, going within yourself, and being that example for others in their journey.
Yep.
And you're a testament to that. Be absolutely exactly how you said it. Like we almost go through it first in order to help others.
It's the only way we can recognize it, I believe. I think that that's what we're being prepared to do. We are being prepared, and I think we really have to have this mantra of what's in the highest, and our prayer should be what's in the highest and greatest good of all. And be in that state of acceptance. In fact, if there's anything that I want to come out of today, okay, is number one, imagine a new story and believe it. One that's based in love. One that's based in all of the principles that Jesus preached and taught. It's all about unity, all about love. That's number one. And we have to pray whatever happens, guys, because this is a very volatile year. Okay? Very volatile year. Whatever happens, our prayer needs to be what is in the highest and greatest good of all. Please let this be your mantra. What is in the highest and greatest good of all. If we pray for that, we will transcend. And the more prayers that go out there, we know that thoughts are an energetic form. Right? We know that our frequencies and our vibrations are what manifests our reality. We know this, right? Now's the moment to put this into action. Now is the moment to really, really put into action everything that we have learned over the past few years of our awakening. It is time for us to create the reality that we desire. Both, like Tatiana's saying, for ourselves first. Okay? This is pivotal. We must create the reality for ourselves first. It's kind of like we have the training wheels on our bike, okay? And we're going to take them off, but we got the training wheels on. Our training wheels are ourselves. Okay? Our training wheels are ourselves. And then once we get that training, once we realize that, hey, everything in my world, everything out there it looks crazy, but in my world, it's pretty good, right? Once we feel that and we get used to that, we're going to say, I think I got this. I think I've got this. Now I can be the pillar of strength for others. Does that make sense to you guys? I hope that you get this. Okay, that's what we're doing here. We spent 4 years together, some of you less than others, but I can tell you that I've spent this time with all of you, and now I know why. Now I know why. It's because I'm meant to help, and so are you. I'm not more special than you guys at all. There's nothing special here. It's just love. That's all. My motivation, my 100% motivation is the anchoring in of understanding that this is a moment in which we have to be in our hearts. 100%. We have to leave fear behind. Okay, we have to leave fear behind. We have to leave all of that old paradigm of fear behind us. Okay? That's basically what we're doing here. We will need to leave all of our own fears behind us in order to take up the torch of love for everyone else. That's it. So we got to practice on ourselves. And it's not selfish to do so. It's actually perfect. Because self-love must come before any other kind of love. We cannot give what we do not have. So we must practice self-love first, Self-care, self-love, self-care, self-love. And when we've got this, when our training wheels are ready to come off, which they're going to be tested this year. This year, we're going to be tested to see if we can ride this bike. Okay? And when we take those training wheels off, we're going to be riding high. Okay? And we can carry a few people on our backs, you know, kind of like in Vietnam. I don't know how they can carry like 5 people in one bike. All right? But that we could do this. Okay? If you guys have never been to Vietnam, it's hilarious. You just got people. I've never seen, you know, they build houses by carrying them on a bike. So
But
we can
saw
do
the
this.
show.
If they can do that, we can do this. Okay? So please take a moment today and use the energies that are with us, the energies of resurrection from Jesus. Because I do not take that for granted. There has never been any more purposeful life to show us the way and guide us than that one. I think that is an embedded story in all of us. It's part of our, whether we are, you know, practicing Catholics or Christians or whatever we are, it doesn't matter. It's more about the story and the reason behind the path and that journey of transcendence. It's an example for us. That's all it is. We don't need to make it any more than what it is. Although some of us may, and that's okay. All right? Let's use that energy today to pray for a new storyline to begin today. And let's usher in our own resurrection and rebirth as we go to the solar eclipse of April 8th. It's a beautiful time to bring in the new manifested reality for yourselves. I think that if each of you take that time, okay, to write down the things that you still feel are kind of stuck in there. They may surprise you. It comes up. And whatever that is, release it. Release it, heal it, forgive it, be in gratitude of it, accept it, and use our mantra of whatever is in the greatest and highest good for all. Through love, I ask. So be it. Thank you guys for joining me today on Sacred Soulful Sundays. I'm very, very excited and blessed and thankful for all of you. I know that this is not a coincidence. I love you all, and I wish you the most blessed Easter. Namaste.
Happy Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Thank you, B.
Happy Easter.
Easter. Thank you. Thank you, B.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Tati, for the extra insights. I'm glad I'm not as astrologically challenged as I thought.
Or as angry as you. I don't have to punch a wall.
What?
Or as you were when she punched the wall.
Oh God, Tati, you can't. My God, I didn't know you had that in you, girl. Bye, loves. Thank you.
Bye. Love you.
You guys, you want to laugh real quick? My husband just asked, is she done saying the things about Aries, or was it the lady who punched the wall? She broke her heart.
We embodying the Aries energy.
That was her embodying the Aries energy. He says he's not going to punch the wall.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Love you.
Un beso.
Un
Ciao.
beso.